Okay, rule number one, what is the subject of a sentence? So we're going to be learning some terminology. I promise that we're never going to learn terminologies just because I think it's cool or because I'm a nerd or you're a nerd. It's only going to be because something that's actually going to help us, something that we actually need in order to be masters of English grammar, or at least high school English grammar. And the first definition, the first thing we're going to look at is the word subject. Subject is a grammatical term, but it's also counterintuitive. If I asked a normal person, well, what is the subject of a sentence? A person would probably say, well, that's what the sentence is about. And, it seems reasonable and logical, but it is actually not true. And this is what the subject of a sentence is. It is a person, place, thing, or idea that is doing or being something. Okay? So person, place, thing, idea, we recognize that that is the definition of a noun. It's a person, place, or thing, or idea. But I'm going to add to that not only noun, but also pronoun. I don't know. I know we're hearkening back to 7th grade English now. Oh, gee, what's a pronoun? Pronoun is very, very easy. It's just something, it's a word that takes the place of a noun or a pronoun. John goes to the store. He goes to the store. Therefore, he is a pronoun. Okay, it just takes the place of a noun or pronoun. So if you're not sure if something is a pronoun, just say to yourself, gee, can I plug a noun in here? And if the answer is yes, you've got a pronoun. He drove a shiny black Mercedes to the store. What is the subject of this sentence? So the subject of the sentence is not necessarily what the sentence is about, as I said earlier. Okay, we're going to be tempted to think that the subject is the Mercedes, because the Mercedes is shiny, it's black, it's pretty cool. But the question is, what is the Mercedes doing? And the answer is nothing. It's doing absolutely nothing. There is a word, a noun or a pronoun in this sentence, however, that is doing something. It's not very exciting, unfortunately, and that word is he. So one might be tempted to think that the subject of the sentence is the Mercedes. The reason it isn't is because he is the one doing something. He is driving. Therefore, he is the subject. And obviously, he is not a noun, it is a pronoun. So when you have a noun or a pronoun that's doing something or being something, you have a subject. All right, back to 7th grade English. What kind of verb is to drive? What do we call that kind of verb? Some of you fancy people are going to say infinitive, but we're not there yet. It is an action verb. Okay, action verb. To drive is an action verb. I'm performing an action. I am the greatest movie star in the world. What is the subject of this sentence? Again, we're going to be tempted to think that it's movie star, because that's kind of what it's about, seemingly, but it isn't the subject. We have something in the sentence that is doing or being something. We have a word that's doing or being something. Another pronoun, and that is I. Sorry, I went that too fast. I am the greatest movie star in the world. So that I is being something. In this case, it's being the greatest movie star in the world. So am as a verb is a form of to be. So the question is, what kind of verb is to be? It's not an action verb, it is you guessed it. It's a being verb or a linking verb. Forget about linking verb, that's a fancy term that grammar nerds use, but being verb is just easier. So we have two types of verbs. We have action verbs and we have being verbs. The cat chased the mouse and the mouse ran away. What is the subject of this sentence? You might seem to be confused by this because here we have cat, which is doing chasing, and we have the mouse, which is doing running. The cat chased and the mouse ran. So you're saying, well, this is a subject, seemingly, and this is a subject. How can the sentence have two subjects? Well, the answer is because it can. So there is not necessarily only one subject of a sentence. Again, that's counterintuitive. You think that would just have one subject, but it's not the case. You can have multiple subjects. As long as you have a word that's doing or being something, it is a subject. So we have two subjects and two verbs. Cat chased, mouse ran. Now some of you nerds out there are going to say, oh, okay, well, that's a subject, but the word chase is not, it's a verb, but it's actually a predicate. And that's true, I know that. But in my experience teaching high school English, it's been unhelpful to start using words like predicate. Even though I do understand that that's technically what it's called. We just use the word verb. It's much, much easier. So subject, verb, rather than subject, predicate. So remember, if a word is doing something or being something, it is a subject. I'm going to post a homework in the link below. It could be a link to the Google Doc that is the homework. So have fun.